Hey everyone, this is Axel Phones, and I know I previously went over a Machina Gadget deck profile, but this is what I would like to consider a low budget Machina deck. Obviously, it's not quite as good as a top shape Machina Gadget deck that I showed you before, but this is something I think that could be utilized if you were low on cash or good cards. Now, I'm running 2 Cyber Valleys, an Effect Veiler, 2 Gen X Ally Birdmans, Gores, 2 of each Gadget, 1 Cannon, 3 Fortresses, 3 Machina Gear Frames, 1 Peacekeeper, 1 Neospatial Grand Mole, 1 Tragodia, 1 Unknown Synchron, 1 Book of Moon, Dark Hole, Enemy Controller, 2 Fissures, Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, 2 MSTs, Pot of Avarice, Shrink, Sword Revealing Light, Call of the Haunted, 2 compulsory evacuation devices, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Torrential Tribute, and 2 Ultimate Offerings. The reason why let me just go over the strategies. For the 2 Cyber Valleys, it's good for stalling for a turn if you need, in case you haven't top decked anything good. Effect Veiler, obviously, I thought it was too good of a card, even if it is kind of pricey. Same with Gores and Tragodia. I just thought those were too good of cards to not put in a deck, even if it was a budget deck. So Birdman for the Synchros, obviously for a Gen X Ally Triforce. And I have an Unknown Synchron for the Shiggles, because I thought it'd be kind of fun to use a Void Ogre Dragon. Just interesting, just for options. Because sometimes this deck can run a little fast, because with this deck, sometimes you overextend. So if you ever run out of cards in your hand, it's always good to be able to have a Void Ogre Dragon as an option. Because this effect is once per turn during either player's turn, which is a really good effect. You can, when your opponent activates a spell or trap, when you have no cards in hand, you can negate the activation and destroy it. So we have the Gores, it's a good effect. The Gadgets, so obviously the engine here for hand advantage, which actually goes really good with Tragodia, which gains its attack and defense based on the number of cards in your hand. So it's always good to have a gadgets in combo with Tragodia, at least in my opinion. I find they work well together. Now obviously a Cannon as fodder for a Fortress. And I have a Peacekeeper, because I thought, even though some people might consider it a little too slow, I can use it to, when it's destroyed, I can add 1 Union monster from my deck to my hand. Obviously, my only Unions I have, Machina Gear Frames, and its effect is when it's normal summoned, I can add a Machina monster. So if I have like a Fortress in the grave or in the hand, I can just go for a Cannon, and then go for just automatic special summon for Fortress. If I already have a Fortress, but no Cannon, I can go for a Cannon, if I have no other machines in my hand. Because Fortress effect is discard machines with stars 8 or more. And sorry, that's my train of thought. 8 or more to special summon him from your hand or grave, and his effect is good because you can use it on himself. So I can send like a Fortress and like a Gadget. But Cannon is good because it's like I think it was like 9 stars, which I can just automatically discard him to summon Fortress. And I like Cannon over Force because Cannon can actually do something in your hand instead of just being dead weight like Machina Force. At least you have better options when you have Cannon. And Neospatial Grand Mole some people have considered that an odd choice when I showed them this, but I just thought it was always good to have just in case, just a little trolley thing to have. And I can always side deck it out for something better. I haven't put a side deck here because I just did that for you to decide. I just prefer using main decks. I don't really side too much. That's just how I do things. And I have an Unknown Synchron, of course, for the Void Ogre Dragon. Now let me go over the extra. I have a Ally of Justice Light Gazer, just in case I'm facing up against Light Sworns, for example. I have a Gen X Ally Triforce, because I like its effects, but since I'm running mostly Earths, the only non-tuner monsters I have are Earth, so, minus Tragodia and Gores, but, they're already level 7, so I can't use them to bring out Triforce anyway. So it's like Earth, if this card attacks, opponent can activate any spell or trap cards until the end of the damage step. Pretty good effect. I don't really use the other two for when it's with fire and light. So And then here we have a Void Ogre Dragon. I already went over that. An X-Saber Your Bellum. I just put him in there, just for options, in case I'm facing off against something that likes for hand advantage. Like, it's a good card to use against, like, Exodia decks. I figured this would be a good thing to have, just in case. Because you know how Exodia's always trying to put cards in their hands. This is a good card. X-Saber, your Bellum is good to use against that. Because its effect is when it inflicts battle damage to the opponent while they have 4 more cards in their hand, place 1 random card from their hand on top of their deck. Just good to stall them out. And I'm using Illuminite just for, options. Detach 1 Exceeds material to send 1 card from my hand to the grave and draw 1 card. I think I would consider that a bit of a minus because you're kind of ditching 2 cards to get 1. But, just for options, top decking is a fun thing. And I have 2 Utopias and a C39 Utopia Ray. Because with this deck, when in conjunction with Ultimate Offerings, it's, and in fact, since it is kind of not really top tier, you're usually going to end up going with having low life points by the end of the duel. So Utopia Ray is there for options, pretty much. And plus, I like the effect. So this was a low budget Machina Gadget deck. I'm going to show you how it works. Well, it's the same thing as the other Machina, sort of, but not quite as good. But I'm going to show you the power of even a low budget Machina Gadget deck. Actual Phones, signing out.